Hi, my name's Miranda Schreurs, and I'm the director of the Environmental Policy Research Center at the Freie Universität of Berlin.
What was it that got you interested in sustainability?
You know, I grew up in North America, and I lived in a small town. We had woods in the back of my house. But I also remember driving as a child and watching people throw garbage out of their cars as they drove on the highway. I remember the concerns about the lakes. I lived near Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, and they were turning green because of all of the pollution that was going into the lakes. So as a child already, I had a strong interest in environmental questions and was very concerned about what we were doing to the environment with economic development that wasn't taking enough attention to the environment. So in this sense, it's an issue that's been with me my whole life.
What are your central topics of research and work?
Yeah, I deal with a wide range of topics because sustainability actually includes a wide range of topics. So it's everything from how do you involve the people, participation in decisions about things that are going to affect people's lives. When you deal with a polluting factory, you also have to recognize that that impacts the town in which that factory is located. So we need to think about the relationship between industry and society. So that's something I look at. In terms of issues, I look at a wide range. So I look at climate change as a very central issue. In fact, I think it's an issue that will be with us for decades, centuries to come. And so that's a very, very important topic for me. The energy transition. How do we shift away from the model that we've had for the last 150 years of a fossil fuel-based economic system to one that goes in the direction of energy efficiency, renewable energy, production that doesn't require so much energy. So that's another very important issue. I deal a lot with discussions of renewable energy development. How do we develop more renewable energy? What is the role of the state in helping to develop renewable energy? But it's also other things like consumption. How do we impact the behavior of people? You and I, we actually are part of the problem. Why? Because we buy cars, we buy lots of clothing, we throw it away. And so it's also a very important question, how can we make people think differently about their own role in contributing to the problems? Because if we can all learn to use less and to use what we use more efficiently, then you can also have a very positive impact on the world.
How important is connecting research with everyday life?
I think that that is a really important role of universities. Universities are there to do education and research, but we have to ask ourselves, why do we do education and research? And from my perspective, we do it to help improve society and to deal with society's problems. So I have always been very interested in linking what we do in the academic side with the policy world, because we need to take the knowledge that we have in academia. We have the opportunity to study issues in depth. We have the opportunity to look at problems and think about solutions, and to take that knowledge and provide it to decision makers, not to make the decisions, but to give them the basis for making more solid decisions. I think is really, really important. So I've been doing political advising probably for 20 or 25 years. Everything from helping to write some speeches for Al Gore to advising the Chinese government after some of their terrible chemical spills and thinking about how policies could there be changed, to advising both the German government and the European community about environmental issues.
How important is exchange and cross-linkage for the sustainability concept?
The University Allaince is a really wonderful opportunity to take 5 universities in different parts of the world, Canada, Russia, Israel, China, and here in Germany, and share ideas about how we can bring sustainability more deeply into the core of the university. Right now, universities in most countries are still following an old traditional model. Here we have a faculty of biology, and here we have a faculty of political science, and over here we have a faculty of engineering. What we need to be doing is thinking much more about the interrelationships between these different disciplines, and how do we bring these disciplines together to deal with those really big global challenges that are out there, and to take the power of the young creative minds that are at a university and give them some tools for thinking about how they can help create some of the solutions. And if we do that as a network among different universities, it just strengthens the power of that creativity.
What is the major challenge sustainability faces in the future?
The biggest challenge is convincing people that it's important to change and that it's doable. I get worried sometimes for young people, because if you look around the world and you read the media, you get a lot of dark stories. Climate change, temperature increases, biodiversity loss, loss of tropical rainforests, population explosion, acidification of the oceans, plastic in the oceans. I can imagine that a lot of young people hear all of this and get rather scared. And I think what's really important is that we say these are big and important problems, but they're also problems out of which we can find new approaches to how we live. Why not take these problems and use them as a way of finding better solutions, new technologies, new cooperative ways of doing things, and actually making a nicer, better world. So if we can go from this framing of everything as bad, scary, awful, to, yes, these are big challenges, but out of a challenge you can also make something good. You can also move things forward. You can have opportunity that comes out of crisis. So let's find that opportunity and move forward.
Do you have a wish for the future?
My wish for the future is that the kind of sustainability issues we're talking about here become something everybody takes as just a normal thing to be thinking about, that it becomes really a part of our culture and not something where we have to remind people all the time this is important to be thinking about.